Tunde did not return to Aremo village alone. He returned with a vision. He brought builders to restore the village. He brought doctors to care for the sick. He brought teachers to educate the children. He brought engineers to provide clean water and repair the roads. Work began immediately. Day after day, the sound of hammers and machines filled the village. Within a few months, a new school stood proudly in Aremo village. Children who had once studied beneath trees now sat inside bright classrooms. They received books, desks, uniforms, and trained teachers. A new health clinic was built. Mothers no longer had to travel far to receive medical care. Sick children could now be treated close to home. Clean water began flowing from newly constructed boreholes. Women no longer had to walk long distances carrying heavy pots on their heads. A modern playground was built where children could laugh, run, and play safely. The old dusty road leading into the village was repaired. Farmers were given tools and support to restore their farms. Hope slowly returned to Aremo village. Beside the new clinic stood a beautiful sign. It read, Mama Alake Community Health Center. Mama Alake stood quietly and looked around her. She watched the children running into their new school. She heard the sound of clean water flowing. She saw families receiving care at the clinic. And she smiled softly. Mama Alake had never owned fine clothes. She had never lived in a large house. She had never possessed great wealth, but she had become the reason hundreds of lives were changed. People often measure wealth by money, houses, land, cars, or expensive clothing. But heaven measures wealth differently. Heaven sees the meal shared with a hungry child, the hand extended to someone who has fallen, the encouraging word spoken to a broken heart, the door open to someone with nowhere else to go, one act of kindness, one warm meal, one comforting embrace, one open heart can change a life forever. Never look down on someone because they have little. Sometimes the richest hearts live inside the simplest homes. Mama Alake did not change the world with money. She changed the world by loving one forgotten child. And that child grew into a man who brought hope to an entire generation. People often believe that changing the world requires great wealth, great power, or great influence. But sometimes, changing one life is enough to change a generation. Mama Alake never became the richest woman in Aremo village, but she became something far greater. She became the reason hope returned. So never underestimate a simple act of kindness. The meal you share today, the hand you hold, the stranger you welcome, the child you encourage, may one day become a blessing that reaches farther than you could ever imagine. Love given freely never truly disappears. It grows from one heart into another, from one life into many. And just like a tiny seed planted in good soil, kindness may remain unseen for many years, but one day it will rise, it will grow, and it will produce a harvest large enough to bless an entire generation.